What's shaking, Warfighter Nation? Ron here with Isaiah 6:8 Warfighter Ranch. And this message is not for the warriors of the word, the prayer princesses, or the spiritual samurai. This message is not for you. As for the rest of America, I want to talk to you today about your rights, or what you think are your rights. The incredible bounty here in the land of milk and honey, the land of the free and the home of the brave. We have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We have the right to live freely under the flag of protection that represents nearly 2.5 centuries of spilled American blood. But not just any blood. This blood is sacrificial in nature. I say sacrificial because every molecule in every cell was carried by someone who volunteered to spill every drop for the chance at true freedom. Some of us think that's still worth something. Others, well, clearly not so much. Two things here regarding current events. One, George Floyd's murder was tragic. So was the American response. Will we eventually move forward? When? When everything's burned to the ground? And no, he did nothing to earn the folded flag that his family received from Congress. 2, in the wake of his death, we have the right to be angry. We have the right to be outraged. I know I've been both. As Americans, as human beings, we should be. But at the end of the day, none of that anger or rage will bring back George or any of the others who perished. Clearer heads need to prevail and allow our fractured system to begin the serious and tedious work of healing itself. 3, because of the actions of these looters, I and every other veteran who fought for the freedoms of all Americans must now endure what we like to call in the military mass punishment. Some of us have seen this in the form of statewide curfews after national rioting, rolling regulatory guidelines in the wake of what has already been a lengthy lockdown due to COVID-19 because of the actions of a not-so-silent minority. Remember that? The virus that killed hundreds of thousands of people across the globe? May God rest their souls and may He bring comfort to their families. In truth, these simplistic control measures in the form of curfews or stay-at-home orders don't really bother me in the least, personally. It's the principle that gets me. The many will suffer, or in this case, be slightly inconvenienced because of a few. It's a story as old as time itself. After prayerful consideration, I have to offer a full disclosure here that as a former paratrooper who's jumped with and served with the 82nd Airborne Division, I can tell you right now that you do not want these boys patrolling your streets. I listened recently as the mainstream media told their viewing audience, the American public, that calling in the military to police your state is impractical because soldiers lack the experience in dealing with looting, rioting, and thugs in urban environments. They're playing the fear card, and in the process, sowing the seeds of fear and dissension into the minds of the American public about their own military. America, make no mistake, I do not concur. Don't believe the hype. Yeah, I actually spit my sweet tea when I heard the liberal media start spewing this garbage in the form of this tall tale. I can assure you from the bottom of my heart that America's warfighters are not only well-versed in urban combat, they are subject matter experts in its practice. And it's not just the 82nd Airborne that you should be concerned with. And know that if American forces are committed to quelling the violence across the nation, you had better hope and pray. Your worst fear should not be that your military will do their job. They will without fail, as they always have. You have no reason to fear your military. Your greatest fear should be somewhere under the umbrella of if they don't show up. We've been at war for nearly 2 decades. I served 3 tours, and now 2 of our sons are in uniform. They've already been in harm's way and have lived to tell the tale. I mention this to say that we have all still got skin in this game. And it matters not what color that skin is. There are people all over this country and the world working very hard to keep us safe here on the home front as well as abroad. We are entitled to so many rights simply by being born on American soil. And these blessings are derived, make no mistake, directly from God via the leadership He chose for our once budding new country. Lord, if the founders could see us now, I would have to spot old G-Dub some polygrip to keep his dentures in, because I'm pretty sure his jaw would have hit the floor by now. I've traveled the world, and throughout my travels I've seen many cultures, faiths, and traditions. As an American, we have many more rights per individual than any country on the planet. Justice is not always swift, but until we see how all this plays out, let's try to do our best to heal together. I could tell you stories about human rights violations and atrocities that would give you nightmares until Jesus comes back. You use words like genocide and Nazi with such great frequency and reference due to your political climate of the moment, not realizing that over 23 million of your countrymen are all too familiar with fighting against dictators and evil regimes. The part of America that can appreciate these things, I salute you. At the end of the day, a peaceful protest speaks volumes, but rioting and looting solve nothing. And not if, but when they catch you, you'll have one more right. The right to remain silent. And if you really want God to bless America, then ask Him. And that is the only acceptable time to be on your knees. Now, I'm certainly no expert, not by a long stretch. But people ask me all the time, what do you think Jesus thinks about all this, about everything going on these days? And actually, I think that answer is fairly simple. Jesus wept. Please join us here, Team Breland, Team Warfighter, Warfighter Ranch, Isaiah 6:8, Warfighter Nation, America, and indeed the world. Please join us in praying for peace. In Jesus' holy name, amen.